Good morning to all of you. Once again, I congratulate each and everyone for finishing your phase 1 and entering into the phase 2. This is a crucial period because there are more subjects, so try to work hard. This is the first class of mine, so I introduce myself. I am Dr. Sridhar Rao, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmacology, KMC. As per schedule, today our topic is for online class is management of drug interactions. So today topic schedule, already I told, management of drug interactions. Before going to the topic, the drug interactions means whenever one more drug is added to the one drug, there will be a effectivity will be altered. So that is called drug interactions. Then important, these management of drug interactions are introduced by this time in your curriculum by the NMC. So we'll go through with that curriculum. Before going to the management of drug interactions, you should know what are the objectives in this topic. These objectives are mainly concerned with some type of questions where you'll get in the exam, you can prepare for with this questionnaire so that you can answer easily. So the main objectives are the define drug interactions and describe the types of drug interactions as in vivo, in vitro, pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic with suitable examples. Third is to describe the useful and harmful drug interactions with suitable examples. Then fourth, management of drug interactions. Then identify the sources of information about drug interactions to inform prescribing. The sixth questionnaire, describe drug-drug interaction, drug-food interaction, drug-alcohol interaction, drug-tobacco, then drug complementary or alternative medicine interactions with suitable examples. The seventh questionnaire, explain how to predict and avoid harmful drug interactions in clinical practice. These 7 questionnaires are the main objectives for your exam. Then next, the practicals. In practicals, we'll give a questionnaire was identify the drug interaction from the given case scenarios. These are the practicals. We'll discuss when we do the practicals. These are the main 7 questionnaires as objectives. We'll go to the further slide. When you entered into the phase 1, you have a 1 month reorientation classes. In that class, you might be knowing what is competency, what is domain, and what are the teaching learning methods, and there's the assessment methods. These are all now introduced in this your curriculum by the NMC. That is the curriculum-based medical education, CBME. So you should know what is the competency. The competency for this topic is the identify and describe the management of drug interactions. Then domain is about what you gain, knowledge or skill. Then teaching learning methods for this topic is by the lecture or practicals. We'll do practicals. Then how to assess your knowledge. That is by the written examination or asking questions like viva voice. These are all the competency, domain, teaching learning methods, and assessment method. So, okay. Then coming to we'll go to the main topic now. Then you should know what is the already I told definition. Define the definition of the drug interaction. So, definition is the drug interaction is defined as the pharmacological activity of one drug is altered by the concomitant use of another drug or by the presence of some other substance. So this means the one drug is effectivity altered by the adding other drug or by the some presence of some other substance in that drug. So effectivity is altered. That is called as effectivity is called as a drug interaction. Okay. Then you should know some probes from verbs like object drug. What is the precipient? The object drug, the drug whose activity is affected by such an interaction is called as a object drug. The drug whose activity is affected by other drug, the interaction is called as a object drug. The agent which precipitates such an interaction is referred to as a precipitant. The interaction is precipitated by an agent. It is called as a precipitant drug. You should know two verbs like object drug and precipitant. And coming to what are the types of drug interactions? There are 5 drug interactions. Drug-drug interactions. Then related to the food, that is called as drug-food interactions. When you use a chemical to a drug, it is called as a chemical drug interactions. During laboratory test, using the drugs, that interaction is called as a drug laboratory test interactions. Then one more finally, drug disease interactions. These are main 5 types of drug interactions. Okay. Next. Then how is the net effect of a drug interaction is finally outcome. What is it? Depends upon the generally quantitative, either increased or decreased effect, or qualitative. It may be a rapid or slower effect, or precipitation of newer or increased adverse effect. It may be a newer effect or increased adverse effect. It is a precipitation. So outcome is a quantitative, qualitative, and a precipitation. Then what are the factors contributing to these drug interactions? Main source of factors, how these drug interactions occur. The factors are multiple drug therapy, multiple prescribers, multiple pharmacological effects of drug, multiple diseases or predisposing illness, poor patient complaints, then advancing age of the patient. The changes occur with the increasing of the age. Then drug-related factors. These are the factors contributing for the drug interactions. Okay, there are 7. So you go through properly, one by one, multiple drug therapy, multiple prescribers, multiple pharmacological effects of drug, multiple diseases or predisposing illness, poor patient complaints, because patient can't understand properly. You won't follow the guidelines. Then the advancing age of the patient, drug-related factors. Then what is the mechanism main of these drug interactions? How these drug interactions occur? There are mainly 3 mechanisms to develop this drug interaction. They are pharmaceutical interactions, pharmacokinetic interactions, and pharmacodynamic interactions. Pharmacokinetic interactions means due to the drug-drug interactions. Then pharmacokinetic interactions. These are what does the body reacts to the drug when the drug is moving from one part to the another part. There is a movement of the drug in the body. How this body get affected. The pharmacodynamic is how the drug reacts to the body. What are the actions occurs in the body? That is the pharmacodynamic actions, pharmacological actions to the body. Pharmacokinetic is how does the body affects the drug. Okay, pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic, pharmaceutical interactions. And coming to the pharmacokinetic interactions. Already I told pharmacokinetic means the movement of the drug in the body. So these interactions are those in which ADME properties of the object drug. Object drug means the drug which is affected. The ADME properties means that is the absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. That object drug is altered by the precipitate, hence such interactions are also called as ADME interactions. So these pharmacokinetics are classified as the resultant effect is altered plasma concentration. So with this effect, there is an altered plasma concentration of the object drug. Plasma concentration of the object drug. These pharmacokinetic interactions are classified as 4 types. Already ADME, that is absorption interactions, distribution interactions, metabolism interactions, and excretion interactions. We'll go detail. What are the absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion? Coming to the absorption interactions. These are the interactions are those which the absorption of the object drug is altered. The net effect of such interaction is it may be a faster or slower drug absorption. It may cause faster absorption or slower absorption. It may be a more or less complete drug absorption. It may be a full absorption or incomplete absorption. So there are 2 effects, the faster or slower, more or less. The major mechanisms of absorption interactions are, there are 6 types, mechanism of absorption. They depends upon these mechanisms are complexation and absorption. Complexation means due to the binding of the drug. With a strong binding, the effect will be slow. Depending on the complex, formation of complex of these materials. Okay? Then there is alteration in the gastrointestinal pH. There will be alteration in the gut motility. Inhibition of the gastrointestinal enzymes. Alteration of the gastrointestinal microflora. Malabsorption syndrome. These all causes all the mechanisms causing the drug absorption interactions. Either they may cause the faster absorption or slower absorption or complete absorption or incomplete absorption. These are all the major mechanisms. We'll go in detail. Okay. So this is a tablet form showing about how this absorption drug interactions. This is the object drug. This is the precipitant drug. These are all the precipitant drugs. This is the object drug. These are all the drugs. Object drug. Then this is the influence. What is the effect of on the object drug? This is the response effect of the drug, object drug. So we'll go detail object drug. First mechanism is the complexation and absorption. Complexation, I told, is the binding capacity. So it may, when the drug is used along with these precipitant drugs, the effect will be altered. So the drugs are like example, ciprofloxacin and penicillamine. These drugs, when they combined with, when we give antacids, when the patient is using these drugs, when we give antacids, food or mineral supplements containing aluminum, magnesium, iron, zinc, and calcium ions. When these combined with these drugs, there will be effect like on the object drug, like there will be a formation of a purely soluble and unabsorbable complex with such heavy metal ions. These are the ions. These are the effect when we use these combined with these drugs. So when we give these drugs, this effect. So we have to keep, when we using these drugs, we have to be careful for this, giving these precipitant drugs. So one more mechanism is alteration of gastrointestinal pH. For this examples like drug, when we use patient is taking sulfonamides, aspirin, or ferrous sulfate. Okay? When the patient is taking these drugs, if we prescribe antacids or sodium bicarbonate or calcium carbonate, the effect will be the effectiveness of the influence of the object will be the enhanced, that is the increased dissolution and absorption rate. Increased dissolution and absorption rate. When we use the calcium carbonate, there will be a decreased dissolution and hence absorption will be decreased. This is one more mechanism. These are the drugs. There will be alteration in of gastrointestinal pH. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Then one more mechanism. This is the objective, precipitant, and influence. There is alteration of depends upon the gut motility. Gut motility. If there is alteration in the gut motility, when you use these objects like aspirin, diazepam, levodopa, or mexiletine, when we combine, when the patient is taking these drugs, if we give the metoclopramide, there is an alteration of the gut motility and there will be a rapid gastric emptying. So there is an increased rate of absorption. You increase the rate of absorption. You have a rapid gastric emptying. This is on the effect on the object drug. Then one more example for the alteration of gastrointestinal is the levodopa, lithium carbonate, and mexiletine. When we use anticholinergics, respirant drug like anticholinergics, example atropine, benzatropine. Then when we use these drugs, the patient is using these drugs, there will be effect like delayed gastric emptying. So there is a decreased rate of absorption. So we have to be careful for when we give using these drugs. When we give antibiotics, the effect will be like this. So we have to adjust the dosage of these drugs. Then we'll go to next mechanism like alteration of gastrointestinal microflora. The object drug is the digoxin. Digoxin, when we give antibiotics, some antibiotics. When the patient is taking digoxin, when we give some antibiotics, the effect will be the increased bioavailability due to the destruction of the bacterial flora that inactivates the digoxin in lower intestine. There is an increased bioavailability. It inactivates the activities of the digoxin. Then finally, mechanism, there is absorption, malabsorption syndrome. When we give vitamin A or B12 and a digoxin, these are the object drugs. When we give neomycin as a precipitant drug, the effect will be the inhibition of the absorption. So the inhibition of the absorption. So we have to be careful. These are all the mechanism and examples of the absorption drug interactions. We'll move on to the next slide. That is the second drug interactions are the pharmacokinetic distribution interactions. This is otherwise called as competitive displacement interactions. Distribution means movement. So this is called as a competitive displacement interactions. The object drug may be like anticoagulants. If we give anticoagulants, like heparin, lower molecular heparins. Okay. When we precipitant drug, if we give phenylbutazone or chlorhydrate when patient is taking these anticoagulants, when we use these drugs, the effect will be the increased clotting time and the increased risk of hemorrhage. So we have to be careful. We have to monitor the patient. Increased risk of hemorrhage. So we have to adjust the doses of these drugs when we are giving phenylbutazone or chloral hydrate. Then one more example, tolbutamide. Patient is taking tolbutamide. When we give antibiotics like sulfonamides, So there is a tolbutamide is a hypoglycemic agent. So there is an increased hypoglycemic effect. So when we are using antibiotics, patient is taking tolbutamide, we have to adjust the dose. So because we have to maintain increased hypoglycemic effect. Okay, these are the distribution drug interactions. We'll move on to the next slide. That is the metabolism interactions. This is the third mechanism of the pharmacokinetic, types of pharmacokinetic. Okay, that is the two types. There will be enzyme induction and one is the enzyme inhibition. The enzyme induction means that is the enzyme stimulant. They stimulate the enzymes. So the object drugs are the examples for the enzyme induction: corticosteroids or oral contraceptives, coumarins, then phenytoin, anti-epileptic. Okay, these are the object drugs. When we patients take these drugs, if we give barbiturates like diazepam, okay, clonazepam, like these are barbiturates, their effect will be the decreased plasma levels, and there will be decreased efficacy of the object drugs. The efficacy will be decreased when we come and we give the barbiturates. So we have to increase the dosage of these drugs so that the efficacy will be maintained. Okay. The next example will go the oral contraceptives or oral hypoglycemics. When patient is or woman is taking this, if we give rifampicin is a anti-tubercular. Okay, you know, rifampicin. If you give this, the effect will be a decreased plasma levels and decreased efficacy of the object drugs. So we have to adjust increase the dosage when we are giving the rifampicin. If the patient is suffering with tuberculosis and this is a diabetic like that, so we have to increase the dose. These are the metabolism interactions. Enzyme induction. We move on to the next slide. There is a enzyme inhibition. Okay, I already told enzyme induction and enzyme inhibition. The example for the tyramine-rich food. The food contains more tyramine. Tyramine is there is an increase in the blood pressure. Increases the blood pressure. So food containing the tyramine. When we give the MAO inhibitors, like selagelin, MAO inhibitors, there will be an increased absorption of unmetabolized tyramine. So there is a chance of getting the increased hypertension. That is called as a tyramine crisis. So we have to be careful. This reaction, increased absorption, increased tyramine levels, causing the condition is called as a cheese reaction. Cheese reaction. This is a cheese reaction. They will ask him why what is cheese reaction. So you should know the food containing tyramine levels. When you give MAO inhibitors, there will be increased levels of the tyramine levels. So there is an increase in BP levels. This is called a cheese reaction. One more, coumarins. Okay, when we give metronidazole or phenylbutazone, okay, there's an increased anticoagulant activity. Increased anticoagulant, so we have to reduce the dose of the coumarins when we give these are prescription drugs. So we have to be careful. These are enzyme inhibition. These drugs causing the inhibition of the enzymes. So this is the effect. Okay, next we'll go to the next slide. Next one, already we discussed pharmacodynamic interactions. Now we'll pharmacodynamic interactions. Pharmacodynamic interactions means there's the actions of the drug on the body. Okay, what body getting actions due to the drug. So these interactions are those in which the activity of the object drug at its site of action. It depends upon the site of action is altered by the precipitant. The pharmacodynamic depends upon the site of action. is altered by the participant. Such interactions may be two types, direct or indirect. Direct pharmacodynamic interactions and indirect pharmacodynamic interactions. Then we'll go detail what is direct and what is indirect. This is actions of a drug on the body, how the body will be reacted due to the drug. Okay. Then coming to the direct pharmacodynamic interactions. In which drugs having similar or opposing pharmacological effects are used concurrently. There are three consequences of direct interactions. When we combine two drugs, there will be opposite effect or similar effect, causing the synergism, increasing the effect. These are the actions when we combine the drugs. Then we'll see what are the, we'll get with the direct pharmacodynamic. There are three consequences of direct interactions. There may be antagonism. Antagonism means antagonism. It is an opposite effect. Addition or summation means when we combine, the effect will be more, increase, addition or summation. Then one more, potentiation or synergism, with the increased activity. When we combine synergism or potentiation, there are the three consequences of direct pharmacodynamic interactions: antagonism, addition, and synergism. Now we'll see that what are the examples for these three consequences. See, coming to the antagonism. Antagonism, everybody knows that is antagonism means opposite effect. The interacting drugs have opposite action. For few example, like the short notes, this one, okay? Acetylcholine and noradrenaline having opposing effects on heart rate, because acetylcholine will decrease the heart rate, whereas adrenaline, it is a sympathomimetic, where it increases the heart rate. So there is a, when you combine these drugs, there will be opposite effect. This is called as a antagonism. Coming next, addition or summation. By this only we will come to know, if you add the two drugs, have similar actions, and the result effect is the sum of individual drug response. Individual drug response, how much? If we sum it, it will be more. That is the addition of summation. For example, CNS depressants, like chlorpromazine, CNS depressants, okay, like sedatives and hypnotics. These sedatives and hypnotics, when they combine, the resultant response will be more than the individual responses. So this is additional summation. One more is the synergism or potentiation. It is an enhancement of action of one drug by another. There is an action by the one drug by another. There is an increased action of. Example is the alcohol enhances the analgesic activity of aspirin. See, the alcohol is affecting the activity of analgesic activity of the aspirin. It increases the activity of aspirin. This is a synergism. One drug is influence the activity of the other drug. This is a synergism or potentiation. The coming to the next pharmacodynamic, there's an indirect pharmacodynamic interactions, in which both the object and the participant drugs have unrelated effects. We are having the unrelated effects, but the later in some way alerts the effects of the former. This participant drug alters the effects of the object finally, but the effect will be unrelated. It is called as indirect. For example, salicylates decrease the ability of the platelets to aggregate, thus impairing the homeostasis. If warfarin-induced bleeding occurs. These are the example of the indirect pharmacodynamic interactions. Okay. The example, salicylates decrease the ability of the platelets to aggregate, thus impairing the homeostasis. Okay. If warfarin is reduced, there will be a chance of getting bleeding. Then what are the consequences of these drug interactions? What are the consequences? What patient will affected, how patient will be affected. The consequence of drug interaction may be, or maybe a major, depends upon the effect, or moderate or minor. Major drug interaction may cause life-threatening. Then moderate interaction may cause the deterioration of the patient status. Then minor drug interaction, there will be little effect. It may be not as serious, or it can be manageable. It can be reduced. There will be 3 consequences: major, moderate, and a minor. Then important, how to reduce the risk of these drug interactions. This is very, very important. How to reduce. It's also come under some management. How to manage these drug interactions. How to reduce the risk. So we have to identify the patient risk factors. What are the risk factors for the patient? Whether he's suffering with comorbidities like diabetes, or tuberculosis, or any epilepsy, or any bronchial asthma. Like, we have to identify the risk factors. So we can prescribe the drugs, not more drugs, like related drugs we can prescribe by seeing the risk factors. We should identify first. Then we have to take thorough drug history. Any allergies like to the drugs? What are the allergies? If any previously developed allergies to some drugs, we have to take the thorough drug history. Then we should know, who are the prescribing doctors, should know knowledge about the actions of the drugs, what are they using to the patients, so that we can reduce the adverse drug reaction, or we can prescribe we can avoid the more drugs to prescribe. We should know the actions of the drug. The doctor should know. Then consider therapeutic alternative. If there is any interaction or anything, we have to alter the therapeutic drugs, so that therapeutic effect will be easy, manageable. Then you should avoid the complex therapeutic regimens. The combination regimens, we should avoid more. We should avoid if there is any drug wherever possible. Then we have to educate the patient. Educate the patient is a very, very important. And patient to know which drug is taken at time, then which drug is taken in the morning, afternoon, night. Then if he take the night drug in the morning, he will be drowsy. Sometimes that depressant drugs or sedatives like that. The patient should be educated thoroughly when to take, when to not to take, and to avoid more drugs. Depends upon the patient condition. We have to educate clearly whether we have to take the half tablet or full tablet. That doctor should educate the patient clearly, so that the main is the time maintenance. If the drug is taken one time, then 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That time also is very important to take the drugs. If we take at a time all drugs, there will be a chance of getting the drug interaction or adverse drug reactions. We have to educate the patient thoroughly. Then afterwards, after all these things, we have to monitor what are the drugs we prescribe. We have to monitor the patient for some time. We have to monitor. We have to ask to recome to whenever the problem comes, he has to come to us, and we have to monitor everything, BP levels or sugar levels or some other risk factors is getting. We have to monitor the drug therapy. By these precautions, if we take, we can reduce the risk of drug interactions. So, finally, this is a management, how to manage these drug interactions. Already there's the precautions we have to take, just now I discussed. Now, coming to the management of drug interactions. This is important. How the drug interactions, it may come in the exam as a short notes. Then we have to write all these things. It will be shorter, and this is the management of drug. It's very important. So, these are all we have to take the precautions, how to manage. Inquire if the patient has taken the drug combination previously. If you get any drug interaction or any problem, we have to inquire this combination he has taken previously. If it is was tolerated before, so no need of changing the therapy. So if there is any problem, the combination we have to seek for alternatives. What are the other drugs we can give? That's the first important precaution we have to take. Then if the drug combination is prescribed for first time, patient should be monitored while on therapy. How much time is taken up, we have to monitor the patient, calling back for few days or few hours, like some for month we have to monitor that combination where is tolerated or not, or any, we have to observe for any adverse reaction or any problem. Then if the third one, if the interaction is potentially serious, we have to stop the drugs. The serious interaction, we have to stop the drugs and we have to seek for the alternative drugs. If interaction is of low to moderate significance, the monitor for side effects and therapeutic effect through TDM. TDM means therapeutic drug monitoring. This TDM is discussed by our HOD did in detail. Or what is TDM? That is important. That is a therapeutic drug monitoring studies. These are the precautions how we can manage the drug interactions. And coming, the drugs in the same class have different potentials to cause interactions. This is an example. See, for example, drugs in the same class, they'll be having different actions. For example, ranitidine versus cimetidine, they are the H2 blockers. But the cimetidine is having the metabolic enzyme, is an inhibitor, whereas the ranitidine is an enzyme inducer. So these to belong to the same class, they are having different interactions. So we have to be careful whether to give ranitidine or cimetidine. This is example. This has a number of drug interactions. Okay. We have to careful by giving this same class also. We have to be what drug we have to give. Then high risk drugs must always be checked for probable drug interactions. High risk drugs. Okay. Then drug interaction must be predicted while prescribing well-known enzyme inhibitors and users. These enzyme inhibitors and users are the main responsible for these drug interactions. Whenever we are giving the enzyme inhibitors and users, we have to be well monitored and we have to predict it for the drug interaction so that we can avoid what drug we have to give and all. Then interaction must be predicted while prescribing drugs with a narrow therapeutic index. Narrow therapeutic index. The examples like warfarin, digoxin, theophylline. Whenever these narrow therapeutic drugs prescribing, we have to predict it for interactions, we have to monitor the patient. The elderly are at greater risk because of there is a increased age, there is a metabolic changes, and there will be the older patients will be taking multiple polypharmacy, and there will be due to the age-related impairment metabolism and excretion. So they are a great risk. So we have to be very careful for the elderly patients when we giving the drugs because of due to the impairment of metabolism and excretion due to the age. So the elderly patients due to taking the polypharmacy, the drug interactions are more. So we have to be careful. Then interactions can occur with over-the-counter drugs. Over-the-counter drugs means which the patient might not tell about, because when the patient comes, he won't tell the counter drugs, like without prescribing drugs, he will go and take, for example, for in sinusitis, he will take one this thing antihistamines. So for paracetamol, for fever, he will take paracetamol without prescribing, asking the medical medical supervisor. So you won't tell to the so we have to ask that also. What are any drugs you are using without prescribing for any, like you are taking any drugs from the medical shop. So we have to ask before taking prescribing the drugs. The history we have to ask. Then complementary and alternative medicines like all dietary supplements, herbal or homeopathic medicines, as well as recreational drugs. Recreational drugs means for the recreational drugs like which enthusiastic our body, like alcohol, smoking like tobacco, and drugs obtained by other means like drugs like you know, the amphetamine and all, that ganjai, or this in charas, like for their enjoyment, the drugs. We have to ask the history before going there. And in the internet, should whether the internet also, they will open the internet and they'll find out the medicines and they'll take on the counter without prescribe. That also we have to inquire the history, and we'll be have to careful, and we have to educate the patient about the drugs clearly, the timing and dosage, everything. Then all these precautions we can manage the drug interactions. This is about the management of drug interactions. The drug interaction we have to, by this topic, you should know, define that is the definition of the drug interaction, then types of drug interactions, what are the mechanisms, that's the pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic, then how to manage, how to the risk factor reducing the drug interactions, and how to manage these drug interactions. So with this, I will end my topic. Very thankful to spending this time. Okay.